Effective study method number 3, using a Hold'em Manager to spot a specific leak. Hold'em Manager is an amazing tool for finding out if you have a specific leak, since there are so many filters you can run. Literally, limitless combination of filters you can run. Figure out a concept you want to improve on and run the filters to examine the leak. What percentage of your turn check raises are bluffs? What percentage of your turn check raises get folds? How many were bluffs? You actually have to count it in this case, but you can run a filter to see every spot where you check raise the turn. Because sometimes you're going to check raise a pair for value, and sometimes you're going to check raise a pair as a bluff, so you have to actually sit down and count, but it really doesn't take that long. You can also check to see what frequencies other winning players are using while you're doing this. What percentage of good players folding to flop raises? What percentage are good players 3-betting at your stakes? This is the best way to get an overall feel if you have a theoretical or exploitative leak. Once you think you do, a more detailed approach is needed. You need to examine your ranges in Flopzilla, and you need to run more filters to confirm you're actually leaking. For example, you may fold too much to continuation bets, but are you also multi-way much more than the average player? Be sure it's a leak. So a player that puts more emphasis on calling multi-way is obviously going to fold more to C-bets than someone that calls a lot in heads-up pots. So you have to make sure it's actually going to be a leak, but this is an extremely useful way to find leaks. So Hold'em Manager, I made a whole other series on it that you can check out, but Hold'em Manager lets you check to see what other winning players at your limit are doing. It gives you just a bunch of great analysis that you can really examine. So once you think you have sort of a good grasp of a play, and it can be exploitative or theoretical. So you can say, oh, I know in theory, half of my turn check raises should be bluffs. You can go count. Or you can say, I know in practice, my turn check raises are getting too many folds, so you can go see, are you value check raising the turn too much and losing action? Are you bluffing too little? Go ahead and explore. Hold'em Manager is phenomenally good for this. Once again, this is one of those study methods that's going to be very good for helping you improve in a very long-term way. Effective study method number 4, watching poker videos. Poker videos are an extremely cheap and convenient way to get advice from players better than you. If you watch one video a day, you literally are paying less than $1 an hour for advice, and also usually getting access to advice in forums. That's usually quite good. Your cost is basically your time at that point. An already winning player has to pay more to see a video since his opportunity cost is much, much higher than a losing player. So, even though a winning player does not care at all about how much his video cost him to watch, since it was at least under a few bucks, he's paying a lot of money to watch it in the sense that he's not grinding. So instead of grinding, he's watching a video and he's losing whatever his hourly rate was. Relying too much on videos can be dangerous, though. Most videos are aimed at a crowd which plays lower stakes, since most players play lower stakes and higher stakes players have to pay more to see a video. This doesn't mean there's not a lot of really good players making videos that are, giving a lot of sort of high stakes advice, but for the most part, they're aimed at a lower crowd because there's just such an incredibly small fraction of the poker community is playing medium stakes or higher, and most that don't probably watch a ton of videos. It's aimed more at the lower stakes crowd, which makes sense. Not everyone who makes a video is a good player or good at making videos. In order to really make a video worth your time, if you're already a winning player, you kind of need both. He has to actually know what he's talking about and do a good job of explaining it and put, a decent amount of effort into it. Not everyone does that. Sites will sell you what you, the consumer, want to buy. It's more important that people think a video is good than the video actually be good. Take a moment to really think what I mean by this. If two sites enter the poker training industry, and one site makes really, really good videos, but they don't appeal to a lot of people, and people don't really understand how good they are, and the other site makes a lot of videos which aren't very good, they don't give very good advice, they're not all that productive, but people think they're really good, which one makes money and which one stays in business? The one that's producing the bad videos that people think is good. This is the way pretty much things work in life in general. There's nothing wrong with it, but just understand it for what it is. You're not always going to get great videos. There's a lot of videos which probably aren't that good that people really, really, really like. So those videos are popular, they're recommended, that player keeps making videos even if they're not good. So you have to be very careful with what you watch and make sure it's really actually benefiting your game. Find a few video makers who appeal to you and you think make the highest quality videos which justify your time. The video has to be worth more money than actually playing or studying on your own unless you are just watching the video for fun.